Alright, boom, here we go. Super excited for this, and I'm glad I finally get able to do it. Let's just go ahead and do it. This is my full tournament predictions. Now, there's gonna be some tweaks in here. Okay, maybe this team, or it's a close between two teams, so it's kind of like a hey, you could choose either one. I like Duke over Siena. I like Ohio State over Duke. My bad, Ohio State over TCU because of the fact that I really believe that guards win in March. And with Bruce Thornton and John Mobley, I feel like they have enough to carry them past TCU. And TCU is really good on the interior with Xavier Edmonds and David Punch, but I'm not sure how good they are on the exterior. I think that you gotta have guards who can hit, guys who can hit big shots in big moments. I believe Bruce Thornton and John Mobley can do that. St. John's over Northern Iowa. Kansas uh, see, uh, over Baptist. I think California Baptist or whoever. Kansas will beat them. Uh, and Kansas is a sneaky team, though, not playing well. Um, we'll see if they get upset, but it's just hard when you see Darren Peterson the way he is. They look like a team that hasn't played together, and so it's kind of hard for me to pick them going far in March. Louisville, South Florida. I feel like the South Florida team and program is on their way up. And I just haven't liked the way that McNeely, Michael Brown, and Conwell, when those three on the court together. I'm just not sure how, like, I thought Louisville would be a lot better this year than what they were. And then any, like, with a Khalifa, I like Sandra Frew. I'm not sure how big of a fan I am of Khalifa. Really not that big of a fan. So, like, and like when you watch Conwell, McNeely, and Michael Brown, you would think they'd be better than what they are, and they're just not. They just have not been a great team. They put a good run together, but I'm just not sure how. I'm not confident they're going to be some kind of great team that's going to come in here and make a run. Now, could they? We'll see. But what I've seen from Michael Brown, McNeely, and Conwell so far is it's like they're a decent team, but probably a team that's probably going to get upset. I think South Florida got a real program and a real coach, and at the end of the day, you got to pick like March Madness tournament stuff doesn't make sense. So you got to do stuff that doesn't really make sense. But you got to pick teams that are winning too, and on the teams that are usually on a roll are the ones that are going to come in here and make noise. So, oh, I shouldn't say that, but like you get what I'm trying to say. Like you gotta be playing a certain. You should be playing your best basketball right now. Is what I should be saying, or like around it. Um, and so I'm just not sure how well Louisville's do. I'm not sure. I don't think Louisville's doing that. Michigan State, easy. I have UCLA over UCF. If UCF was in a different bracket, I could see them making a big time run. No joke. Johnny Dawkins done a great job. Riley Kugel, and they've some really good players, but I think UCLA's playing their best. It's not think they are. They're playing their best basketball with Dent and Thibodeau. I think should be back, and then with like Trent Perry and all these guys, like I really think Xavier Booker. Like I really like what UCLA is doing, and then when you have Dent, all the pieces around him. I like and Mick Cronin, who's one of the elite coaches in basketball. I got to give him credit. I was doubting him early in the year, but not anymore. I like UCLA over UCF. UCLA is going to make a lot of noise. UConn over Furman. Uh, and so we could just stay here. I like Ohio State over Duke. And here's why. I'm not, I heard on Field of 68 or whatever the podcast with, I think his name is Goodman. Um, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure like how. What I heard Shot talk about Gongba said they've been working like kind of trying to ramp him up a little bit, but not like trying to overwork him and try, and they don't want to overwork him to the point where they delay his process even longer. So I'm just not confident Gungo's going to be back, and even if he is, again, it goes back to my point. Guards win in March, and I'm just not sure. I'm so confident in Caden Boozer. This March Madness is a different level, dude. It's a different level with the competition and the people you got to go against, and Duke did look dominant, and they could prove me wrong. I could be completely wrong right here with Duke and my sentiment towards them, but like I said, I really believe in guards winning in March. I do think Caden Boozer probably would have, could do his regular stuff, but without Caleb Foster and potentially without even having Gongba. Now, you could argue, he'll be back by then. Um, but we'll see. We'll see when he's back. I'm not sure when this game will be played, but I guess this is between the 21st, 22nd. So, uh, like, we'll see. I don't know if even if Gongba comes back. Gongba's not a guy that's going to get you buckets. Gongba's a guy that's going to play great defense. And so he didn't improve that defense big time, which helps create offensive opportunities. But I am just not sure without Caleb Foster, this team can beat a team like Ohio State. And like I said, March, it doesn't make sense. And what I don't want to get burned because it made sense. Duke is going to beat them. It doesn't make sense. I really believe in Bruce Thornton and John Mobley. Those two dudes are legit. They get on a hot streak, and I think they will. They can knock off a Duke. And I'm not a big fan of Shire either. In close games, I trust Bruce Thornton and John Mobley over whatever Shire and those two versus whatever Shire is scheming up at Duke. We've seen him in close games. He's gonna at some point is gonna come back to bite him, and I think it comes back Ohio State, St. John's. That's easy. Like I said, Darren Pierce hasn't looked great. I just don't. I just hard for me to see a world where Kansas beat St. John's because St. John is so well coached, and then Floyd Bedinga, like he's really the only big man. Taylor's he's the modern day big man that can shoot the three. Those guys really aren't true big men. They're really just tall, small. They're just forwards who like because they're tall and they have to play the big spot. But they're really just small forwards that can really just shoot. But like I said, because they're tall, they play the big spot, and I don't trust him versus Ejiofor and man, I forget the other dude, Bryce Hopkins down low. Physical St. John's team. I think it's gonna be too much on Budinga as a big man, as a center, try to handle those two on the interior. And then I don't see it, man. I don't see them being able to handle St. John's size on the inside, and then unless Kansas had Darren Peterson playing at a high level, then I will believe it. But at the same time, too, Darren Peterson hasn't played a lot this year, so how can I expect Darren Peterson? Like they don't look like they've played together. I mean, as a team, they don't look like they have great cohesion as a team. And if Darren Peterson can prove me wrong, I'd love to see it. But what I've seen from them, I just don't believe it. Which South Florida's Cinderella run ends. I think the coach makes some noise, but Michigan State ends it. UCLA over UConn. I've not been high on UConn. They have not been dominating people. They lost to St. John's again. I still don't understand how St. John's is a 5 seed over UConn. I don't agree with it, but they are. I'm pretty sure St. John's won 2 out of the 3 matches they played. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but and the most recent one was in the conference championship game. So again, don't understand how St. John's is over. It's a 5 seed. UConn's a 2 seed. St. John's is obviously better than UConn. UConn's overrated. I think people are going to end up getting burned by again choosing common sense. Oh, UConn's going to beat you, so no, they're not. UConn's not that great of a team, and I'm just not sure how much you can rely on the guys they have. Taurus Reed, Alex Carabrand. Can you really count on those guys? And are they playing? And I go back to my point. When is UConn playing? When is UConn going to be playing their best basketball? How they play their best basketball? Will they ever? I just haven't seen enough from UConn to think they're going to go out there and just beat somebody because of their name. I seen UCLA playing their best basketball. You could argue UConn's playing a not so great brand of basketball right now. Um, I got when it comes down to this, I think Michigan State gets a get back. They made a great run and almost came back and won the game versus UCLA. And like I said, you don't want to get caught up in too much in tournament games because we've seen a lot of times in conference tournaments some teams do well and they end up doing bad in the tournament. Or some teams do bad in the conference tournament and they end up doing well in the NCAA tournament. So you can't put too much stock into it. I think Michigan State gets a big get back. I think it'll be a close game down to the wire. But I think time is on them. I think they found something late in that game. I think they continue it to this game and they knock off Michigan State. And I think to be second in a row, Donovan Dent will lose to Michigan State in the NCAA tournament. He lost last year. I forgot what team he had. What is versus Rick Pitino's son with Richard Pitino, I think. They lost to Michigan State. So continue. Be 2 years in a row. Donovan Dent has lost to Michigan State. I think that continues. Ohio State, St. John's. I'm just not like Zuby Ejiofor, Bryce Hopkins are great, but and I don't know if Ohio State can handle them down low. We'll see what they can do. Uh, but I'm telling you, it's just something about them guards in March. I think what like I said, I think Thornton. I think people are gonna figure out why people. If you don't know why people want to see Bruce Thornton in the tournament so bad, I think you're gonna figure out why. And that's just how my bracket's going. I feel very confident Ohio State. I love Ejiofor. I love I love Hopkins, but I think we saw last year with St. John's last year. Like at some point, like I don't think Ejiofor and is enough, and we'll see if Zuby. I mean, if Hopkins can help out and be better than what Ruiz St. Louis, whatever his name was last year. He didn't. He kind of fell flat on his face. I think at some point St. John's is gonna fall flat on their face. And when you take away Ejiofor, and he doesn't really have a jump shot, so he kind of lives at the rim. Take that away, you make it Bryce Hopkins beat you. You're gonna need more than Bryce Hopkins. And like I don't who does St. John's have in the backcourt? They have Shannon. They got some guys, but would I be enough to overwhelm Ohio State? I don't think so. So I got Ohio State, and I got Michigan State. Boom, I got Michigan State beating Ohio State. So in the East region, I had Michigan State winning this region. I just feel confident with you got to think coaches too. Like people don't think about uh what coaches can win. Like how much coaching, like we're all thinking about Edge and all these guys. We're not thinking about the coaching, and like that's what you got to take in account too. Is like Tom Izzo is a legit coach. I think he took Michigan State farther this year. Like last year, I thought he would. He's won games I didn't expect Michigan State to win because they aren't a great 3 point shooting team. But he's proven that doesn't really matter as much as you have defense. If you have dominant guys in the interior, and then if you have enough. Jeremiah Fears, even though Jeremy Fears is not great of a 3 point shooter, he's still a great mid range shooter, still a great point guard. And then when you look at I think that's enough to get them to the Final Four.